Hello, welcome to More Yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are doing well, and if not, that you will feel better after this. Today, what we're going to do is work into a side angle pose, which is kind of a cool one. You got warrior two legs, you've got lateral flexion through the spine. Sometimes you go down, sometimes you bind, sometimes you hover, and we'll play with lots of variations, certainly through the upper body while in side angle pose. And you're going to get your normal stuff anyway as well. It'll be a little bit more of a flow style class. So if downward facing dog doesn't work for you, you can always come down to hands and knees instead. Blocks are going to be very useful to have for a little bit of lift, right? To bring the floor up to you. Sort of all depends on the length of your legs to your arms and how freely your body is moving today. So let's start lying down because that's so delightful. Right, if you prefer not to lie down, then by all means, you know, stay seated or stand on one leg if you want to. I don't really care. Just go somewhere where you can feel at ease. Your legs might be extended. You might decide that it feels better to bend your knees today. You can take the feet mat width apart and let the knees hang in toward each other. Some of you might choose to rest your palms on your belly, or maybe the arms are out to the side. Maybe you're doing a full starfish pose, wherever you need to go today. And then for a few breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. And then continue breathing however you need to, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. Notice how your breath is flowing. If it feels really open and spacious, then awesome. Maybe you notice some sticky or choppy spots along the way. Also awesome. You could gently try to lengthen through those parts of the breath if you wish, just to smooth it out a little bit more. And if the mind starts to wander, and it will, with compassion, gently bring it back to your breath. Last couple breaths here. And then slowly start to bring a little bit of movement back to your body. Whatever way feels best to wake up. Maybe a little windshield wiper of the knees. And then draw your legs toward you, your knees and toward your chest. You can take a little rock from side to side here. Maybe, you're really rocking on upper and mid back. Maybe the knees are further away from you and you're rocking more on your pelvis, and that's cool too. Wherever you feel like you need that release, that massage. And then start to draw circles with your thighs here or your knees. So maybe legs go in the opposite direction of each other, using your hands to guide the movement. Maybe they go in the same direction as each other. Just make sure that as you're doing circles here that you do go in both directions, right? Clockwise and counterclockwise. And just to balance out the neuromuscular patterns. Okay, and then draw your knees wide out toward your shoulders or armpits. So getting a little bit into the adductors, into the groins, but also the back of the hips. This might be where you'd like to stay. If you'd like to take it into happy baby or a variation of, then take your feet to the sky. You could grab the backs of the thighs, somewhere along the outside of the legs, the ankles, or the feet. You could rock a little bit from side to side here. You could extend one leg or the other. And then notice if your tailbone is really lifting up to the sky. Can you think of lengthening through the spine and reaching your tailbone to the toe edge of your mat? So you're maintaining a neutral spine here. This is one of the best poses that you can actually do to help neutralize the spine. Last breath here. Okay, bend your knees, shake out the legs. For some of you, it's going to feel great to rock and roll up and down your spine here. So grab the backs of the thighs. You might go up and down and up and down. Maybe it feels better to roll one side and press yourself up. Either way, make your way to hands and knees. Little draw of belly button to spine. Toes going to be tucked or untucked. Hands nice and wide. Outer shoulder width apart or wider. Spread the fingers wide. Grip the mat with the finger pads. And then let's move through cat and cow. So inhale, lift the tailbone, hollow through the lower back, broaden through your collarbones. Exhale, round through your spine. Tuck your tailbone under, press the floor away from you. Inhale into cow. Exhale, round into cat. So a few more of these undulations on your own time, on your own breath. If there's any other natural movement that would feel good here, then feel free to add on. Right, getting into your body however you need to today. Doesn't matter if you're doing the same thing as me, or maybe you're practicing with someone else in the same room, right? Your bodies are wildly different from each other. So your practice will look wildly different from mine, or from other people in the room, or even just from the people in your mind. Little inhale, come back to center. Now again, you're welcome to stay here on hands and knees if downward facing dog doesn't work for you. Otherwise, tuck the toes, exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Your feet could be narrow, they could be wide. Just go wherever feels best for you today. You might pedal your heels here, bending one knee and then the other, getting into the backs of the legs, particularly into the calves as we do this. Might feel good to sway a little bit. Lift one hip and then the other. Go wherever you need to go. Maybe you choose to keep moving here in down dog. Maybe you want to take a couple breaths of stillness. Excuse me, keep pressing the floor away from you with those hands. Last breath here. And then bend your knees, look forward. On your exhale, take as many steps as you need to come into your standing forward fold. Little micro bend or even a deeper bend in the knees, head heavy, arms heavy. Maybe you choose to rest the elbows on the knees or thighs. Maybe you clasp opposite elbows with hands. And then play with it. Maybe you bend your knees a little bit more. See how that feels on the body. Maybe you straighten the legs a little bit more. But please don't practice with totally straight or even especially not locked out knees or hyperextended. And it just generates tension in the low back. And you're still getting a great hamstring stretch, even with the micro bend or the deep bend in the knees. Last couple breaths here. And then release your hands if they're bound with fingertips to shins or blocks or the earth. Inhale, little partway lift, belly bend to spine, beam your heart forward, back the neck stays long. Exhale, let it all go. 2 more. And then head heavy, arms heavy, knees bent the entire time. start to roll up to standing. One vertebra at a time, chin tucked in toward your chest so that you're not leading with the neck. Couple loops of the shoulders, up, back, and down. Once you get to the top, little wiggle, shake out, release, whatever you need to do to release. Okay, little draw of belly run to spine, hugging the legs toward each other, shoulder blades on your back. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Maybe follow with your gaze. Exhale, melt to the earth, forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Fingertips to shins. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Plant your hands flat. On your inhale, step back to plank. So the top of a push-up, either from your toes or from your knees. Make sure that the hips aren't sinking, but nor are they piked up too high. So it's not downward facing dog, right? It is a push-up position. Squeeze your bum, squeeze the tops of the thighs. Press the floor away even more with your hands. One more breath here. And then you can always come down to your knees first. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. If you're pregnant, you might just come to hands and knees and do cat and cow. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. So much so you feel your kneecaps lift away. Send your tailbone to the back wall. Feel your belly button engage toward your spine. Shoulder blades on the back. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up, baby cobra. Back the neck stays long. I like you've got an orange between your chin and your chest. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. A couple more of these. You might let the hands hover, really tapping into the strength of the back line. You might come out onto the wood. You might press up higher. Just keep the activation through the legs, through the bum, the whole time. The next time you come back down, plant your hands again, tuck your toes, exhale, lift up and back, hands and knees, or downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, little partway lift, exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. On your exhale, draw your knee to nose, shoulders over wrists, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right knee to right armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the left. Keep the hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. Back knee can be up or down. And on your inhale, come up to lunge for a few breaths. So it could be low lunge, it could be high lunge, wherever you need to go. Shake it out. Go off alignment. Release whatever you need to so you can start to settle or sink into the pose. Or any arm variation of your choice, wherever you need to go. Little squeeze of the bum on the back leg. One more breath here. Okay, plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. Or child's pose. Or no, sorry, I mean hands and knees. Or child's pose if you want. Inhale, lift the left leg high. This can be done from hands and knees. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left knee to left armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb. Again, back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge. If you want to, shake it out. Back knee can be lifted. Maybe it's down. Start to sink into the front knee. Really squeeze the bum and the back leg so that you get open into the hip flexors. Arms can go wherever. Chill out on the shrug muscles if they're lifted. Last couple of breaths here. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. All right. On your inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands this time. Pause here for a moment. Spin your back heel to the floor as if for warrior two. So heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Hug the legs toward each other. Inhale, come up to standing. Now I was going to say warrior two, but we're going to bend the knee on that back leg right away. Hips back, a little wiggle, a little shake. If you did last class, then we did this recently. Just gets a bit more space into your hips. And then start to sink into that front knee, supercharge the back leg towards straight. So the traditional way to come into side angle is from warrior two. So reach the upper body forward. But we're not going to come in. This is where we're going to stay. Keep wrapping this front hip back. Maybe you add weight to the hover. Maybe you take weight off. By all means, if you want to rest a hand on the front thigh, go ahead and rest. Otherwise, hover it out with me for a couple more breaths. Spiral those upper left ribs open to the sky. Maybe you reach forward a little bit more, deepening the angle. And then inhale, come back up. Shake it out a little bit. And then bend back, into your front knee. And inhale, reach forward. This time, go ahead and bring your front elbow to your knee. Now your top arm might reach up to the sky, or you could sweep your bicep over your ear, reaching your heel and your fingertips in the opposite direction. Really spiral those ribs open. Now again, if you have a deeper variation, then maybe you bring your hand to the floor or even to a block. You might bind on the thigh here. Go where you need to go. Last couple breaths. If your elbow's on your knee, you can use it to press the knee out to the baby toe edge of the foot. The hips try to lift up, sink down. And then inhale, come back up. Warrior two, little shake. Windmill your hands to the floor, lift the back heel, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. Or hands and knees. All right, inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. And again, pause here for a moment. Wrap the back heel to the floor for warrior two legs. And then inhale, come up to standing. Go ahead and bend that back knee. Shift your booty back. Get that little wiggle on, little shake. I'm going to turn to face you. Not that you don't want to see my butt wiggling right in your face. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that? And then start to sink into your front knee. Supercharge the back leg towards straight. Hug the legs toward each other. And then inhale the arms out. Start to reach the upper body forward. And maybe just stay here. Maybe you start to hover it, adding more weight, taking weight away, right? Propping as necessary, but hovering side angle pose. Lots of oblique work going on. Lots of glute work on that front leg. Spiral those upper right ribs open to the sky. Your gaze can go anywhere. And then inhale, come up, little shake. So back into that front knee. Reach your upper body forward and then go ahead. Bring front elbow to knee or palm to the floor or fingertips or maybe to a block. Top arm can go wherever feels best for you. Sorry, cramp. And that happens. Come out of it if you need to, right? You can use that front elbow or the bottom elbow rather to bring the knee out to the side. Really spiral those upper right ribs open to the sky. Can you sink through the hips a little bit more? Last breath here. Inhale, come back up. Windmill your hands to the floor. Step back, flow, or downward facing dog. So those were some very energetic variations of side angle pose. Let's get into more of a stretchy one. So inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Wrap the back heel for warrior two. And then inhale, come up. All right, bend the back knee. Or, yeah, bend the back. Let's start with it straight. Sorry. Reach your upper body forward. Bring your front elbow to knee. From here, bend the back knee. Scoop your tailbone under and forward. Round through the spine. You're going to take that top arm and reach it either to the top left corner of the mat or maybe over to the top edge or the right corner of the mat. Super ugly, but really nice release for the back. Keep the tailbone tucked. Keep the back leg bent. And then inhale, come back up. Windmill the hands to the earth, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot between your hands. Wrap the back heel to the floor. Inhale, come up, warrior two. And then reach your upper body forward. Bring your front elbow to the knee. Now, bend the back knee. Tuck your tailbone under, round through the spine. And then reach your right arm up to the top right corner, or maybe over to the top left corner of the mat. Just play with it. But keep that back knee bent. Keep rounding through the spine. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, windmill the hands to the earth. Step back, one last flow if you wish. And then from hands and knees or downward facing dog, inhale, ripple forward to plank, either from your toes or your knees. Exhale, come all the way down to the earth. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the earth, tailbone to the back wall. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up. You might stay here in baby cobra. You might reach your arms back along behind you. Palms could face up or down, or maybe you clasp your hands behind the back. Now, some of you might stay here. Some of you might reach your legs so far back that they de-weight as well, coming into locust. Fingertips, toes, both reaching back. Maybe you inhale, lift everything up a little bit higher. Exhale, release all the way down to the earth. Deep belly breaths to release into your lower back. And then roll over to your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. And then plant your feet. Keep your knees bent. So feet are hip width apart, parallel-ish. Close enough into your bum that you can tickle your heels with your fingertips. Wrap your shoulder blades onto your back. You might have your arms extended beside you, or you could bend the elbows. Pressing into the heels, especially as you inhale, lift the hips up and away for bridge. You might choose to walk onto the outside edge of the shoulders and clasp your hands behind your back. It can be as high or as low as you need to be. Make sure the knees aren't winging out to the side though. Draw them back into neutral. And if anything, think of pressing the heels into the floor a little bit more. Last 2 breaths here. And then unclasp your hands, exhale slowly. Lower back down to the floor. Take a couple breaths in stillness here if you can. And then take your feet mat width apart. Let your knees do a couple of windshield wipers from side to side. And then draw your knees back in toward your chest. Little rock from side to side. Let's prepare for a twist. So right arm goes out to the side. You might shift your hips right a little bit to start with. As you exhale, lower your knees to the left. Now, as gentle or as deep of a twist as you need. Knees could be stacked. You could take a single leg twist, cross leg. You could bring a block or a pillow underneath your knees or between them. Find a place where you can be relatively at ease. So the feet rest on the floor. One more breath here. And then inhale, come back to center. Reset your pelvis or spine. Maybe you shift your hips left a little bit. Left arm out to the side. Exhale, lower your knees to the right. And again, even with twists, it doesn't matter if you do a different variation from one side to the other. Just go where you need to go. And on your inhale, return to center, reset your pelvis and spine, and then draw your knees back toward you. This time, take them wide, out toward your shoulders or armpits. You can stay here or kick your feet to the sky, right? Ending the same way we began with happy baby. You could be still. You could rock a little bit from side to side. You might extend one leg or the other. And here, this time, feel free with playing with rounding through the spine or keeping the spine in neutral. Last few breaths here. And if there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, some sort of posture or meditation, feel free to take it. Otherwise, think about where you would like to end. It could be flat on your back, legs bent or straight in Shavasana. You could rest on your side or in child's pose or a seated meditation. Wherever you can feel at ease. And there's certainly no rush to get there. But once you have found your pose of rest, for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. And then with each exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. So let go of any last muscle gripping or tension. Let go of any last breath control. So you return to your natural breath. And thoughts may come and go. Simply acknowledge them, but then let them go. Let them drift by you like leaves on the wind. And then return to your breath. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming here today. And stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.